It began with whispers in the night accounts, shared quietly, almost fearfully, by those who claimed to have seen something impossible. Over the skies of Jerusalem, a faint glow appeared. Some described it as a pulse of light, others as an ethereal shape hovering just above the horizon. It wasn't caught on camera, nor confirmed by any official source. There were no photographs, no videos, only the trembling voices of witnesses who swore that, for a few brief seconds, the heavens themselves seemed to move. At first, the reports came from small groups, a few locals, night watchers, people walking home late. They described a phenomenon that didn't fit any known explanation. No meteor, no aircraft, no drone. Some even said the light shimmered in silence, as if alive. The most unsettling part, it happened above one of the most spiritually charged places on earth, the city of Jerusalem. Jerusalem has seen signs before: thunder over its hills, earthquakes beneath its stones, wars and rumors of wars echoing through its ancient streets. But this was different. There was no explosion, no storm, just an otherworldly glow that appeared without warning and vanished just as mysteriously. People tried to explain it. Some called it atmospheric interference, others blamed satellite reflections. But those who stood there that night, who felt something stir deep inside them, said it wasn't a trick of light. They said it was a message, a warning. And if that's true, then what was it trying to tell us? The Bible speaks of signs in the heavens, strange lights, sounds, and movements that would mark the approach of something greater. There shall be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, wrote Luke. And upon the earth, distress of nations. Those words, written thousands of years ago, feel more relevant now than ever. Because, as we look around, the world is shifting. Nations are trembling. The air feels thick with tension, from wars and political chaos to moral confusion and spiritual emptiness. Humanity is drifting toward something we can't quite see, but we can feel it coming. Jerusalem, the center of prophecy, stands once again at the heart of it all. It's not just a city, it's a spiritual barometer for the entire world. What happens there seems to echo across nations. So when mysterious lights appear above it, people notice, not because of the science, but because of what it represents: a reminder that prophecy is alive. The prophets warned that in the last days, people would see signs, but refuse to believe. They would hear the truth, but turn away, too distracted by their own desires, pleasures, and routines to notice that the world was changing. It's written that in the days of Noah, people were eating, drinking, marrying, living their lives as if nothing was wrong, and the very day the flood came. Are we living in days like that again? Look around. Technology has given us comfort, entertainment, distraction. We scroll endlessly, watch endlessly, consume endlessly, while the world beneath our feet shakes. We are surrounded by warning signs, yet our eyes are glued to the screens that keep us asleep. Prophecy isn't just unfolding in front of us, it's screaming at us, and still, we look away. Those mysterious lights over Jerusalem may never be explained. But maybe that's the point. Maybe not everything divine can be captured by a lens or verified by a scientist. Maybe some things are meant to shake the soul, not the senses. The Bible says that in the end times, deception would increase, that people would call good evil and evil good, that truth would become uncomfortable and lies would become easier to believe. The lights might not be the only thing glowing in the darkness. They could be a reflection of a world blinded by its own confusion. It's easy to dismiss these events as coincidences. It's easy to mock, to rationalize, to say it's nothing. But what if it isn't? What if what happened over Jerusalem was just the beginning of a paterna sign among many that we've already been warned about? Think of how many strange phenomena have occurred in recent years. Trumpet-like sounds echoing in the skies, unexplained atmospheric disturbances, sudden shifts in weather, and the growing tension in the Middle East. All of it converging around one single region, the land that God Himself chose as the center of His covenant. Jerusalem has always been a stage for divine messages. Every war, every peace treaty, every rumor told points back to the same truth. Something ancient is awakening. The prophecies that once felt distant are now breathing down our necks. In the book of Matthew, Jesus said that before His return, there would be wars and rumors of war, earthquakes in various places, and the love of many would grow cold. But He also said something most people forget, that those who endure to the end will be saved. The lights might be mysterious, but they are not random. They come at a time when Israel stands surrounded by enemies, when nations plot and rage, when the world's focus returns once again to the same ancient city. It's almost as if heaven itself is reminding us where the story began and where it will end. And maybe, just maybe, this is why only a few people saw them. Because not everyone is meant to. In every generation, there are watchers, those who stay awake while others sleep. They are the ones who sense that time is running out, who feel that something unseen is moving behind the curtain of reality. They are not prophets. They are simply awake. But the question is, are you? Because while the world argues, while leaders fight for power, and people drown in entertainment, the signs keep multiplying. The world is being shaken, not by coincidence, but by consequence. The Bible warned that God would allow the earth to tremble, to wake up those still sleeping. The lights over Jerusalem might just be one of those tremors. If this is true, then we are closer to the most decisive moment in human history, the moment when the veil between the seen and unseen will finally be lifted. In Revelation, it's written that when the Lamb opened the sixth seal, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth. Cosmic signs, warnings from above, announcing that the time of grace was ending. Could we be seeing the first flickers of that prophecy now? Jerusalem has always been the heartbeat of the divine story. Its hills have heard the cries of prophets, the footsteps of kings, and the prayers of countless generations. If strange lights truly appeared above its sky, then perhaps heaven is reminding us that history is not random, it's prophetic. And yet, many will still choose not to see. Many will laugh, scroll past, forget, move on. Because it's easier to stay comfortable than to face the idea that the world is on the edge of something extraordinary. But you, the one listening right now, you felt something stir as you heard this. You've noticed the patterns, the tension, the silence before the storm. You've wondered why things feel different lately, why time itself seems to be accelerating. That's not your imagination. Something is shifting. Maybe that's why you ended up here, hearing this story. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. The lights over Jerusalem may remain a mystery, but their message is clear. Wake up, watch, stay alert. Because the same Bible that spoke of these signs also gave us a promise: those who are awake will not be taken by surprise. If you've ever felt that something is coming, that the world is changing faster than it should, that the spiritual atmosphere feels heavier, it's because prophecy is not coming, it's already here. And so I ask you, what do you think those lights were? Coincidence or a warning? Could it be that heaven is speaking and only a few are listening? Tell me what you think below. If you've ever witnessed something strange in the sky, share your experience. Write the word awake in the comments if you're one of those who refuse to ignore the signs. Because maybe, just maybe, those who stay awake will be the ones who understand what's coming next. As the echoes of those mysterious lights over Jerusalem linger in the minds of a few who witnessed them, one cannot help but wonder what else lies hidden just beyond the veil of our perception. The city, ancient and sacred, has always held secrets, layers of history that many walk over without noticing, unaware that beneath their feet, stories older than civilization itself are etched into the stones. And now, as these unusual lights appear in the night sky, it seems as though the city itself is trying to communicate something urgent, something that goes beyond politics, beyond war, beyond the daily noise of human life. People talk about coincidence, about chance, but what if there are patterns that we are simply not trained to see? The timing of events, the alignment of certain occurrences, the subtle movements of nations and natural phenomena, they all whisper a story that the world at large refuses to hear. For centuries, Jerusalem has been a mirror, reflecting humanity's choices, fears, and sins. And perhaps, now more than ever, that reflection is revealing itself in ways that cannot be ignored. Consider the increasing reports of strange phenomena around the world. It is not only Jerusalem that has been witnessing anomalies. In places far apart, skies have glowed with unexplainable lights. Instruments have recorded inexplicable signals, and ordinary people have glimpsed things that defy conventional understanding. Yet, unlike the lights over Jerusalem, which seem to appear with a purpose, many of these occurrences are dismissed, forgotten within hours, or rationalized away as natural events. But when one focuses on the city where history, prophecy, and faith converge, even the smallest signal carries weight. The question arises, why now? Why, at this particular time, when the world is more distracted than ever? The answer may lie not in the lights themselves, but in the state of humanity. Modern life has provided endless distractions, endless noise, endless preoccupations that pull attention away from what is truly important. The prophets warned that in the last days, people would be caught up in everything except what matters most. They would ignore the signs because their hearts were busy with their own agendas, their minds consumed by the fleeting rather than the eternal. And yet, those who saw the lights over Jerusalem could not look away. Something in the atmosphere, something almost sentient, demanded acknowledgement. There was a pause in time, a momentary shift that suggested we are approaching a threshold, a line that, once crossed, cannot be uncrossed. The city, with its ancient walls and sacred spaces, became a stage for the unseen, a theater where the heavens performed a drama that few were prepared to witness. The fact that there are no images, no recordings, no physical proof only deepens the mystery. It forces one to confront a reality beyond empirical evidence, a reality where faith, intuition, and observation must guide understanding. Perhaps this is intentional. Perhaps the message is not for cameras or scientists, but for the hearts and minds willing to notice, to question, to ponder what is happening in the world around them. And if we look closer, the timing of these lights coincides with escalating tensions that cannot be ignored. Political unrest, regional conflicts, economic instability, and moral confusion all seem to converge in ways that mirror the warnings found in ancient texts. Could it be that these celestial signals are intertwined with earthly events, each illuminating the other in a pattern that only becomes visible to those willing to pay attention? The parallels between prophecy and contemporary events are unsettling, yet undeniable. There is another layer, more subtle, yet no less significant. Many of the phenomena reported in Jerusalem and elsewhere suggest a deliberate alignment with sacred or symbolic locations. Not every place on earth experiences such anomalies, and when they do, they often correlate with areas steeped in spiritual history, areas where human actions have historically intersected with divine narrative. It is as if the universe itself is guiding us toward awareness, prompting us to ask uncomfortable questions about the direction of our world, about the consequences of our collective choices. People tend to seek comfort in certainty, in rational explanations that tidy up the mysterious into manageable pieces. But there is an increasing sense that we are living in a time when comfort will not suffice, when rationality alone will fail to capture the full scope of what is unfolding. The lights, silent yet expressive, may be a reminder that reality is far more complex than our perceptions allow, that there are forces at play, subtle but powerful, that defy conventional understanding and demand attention. It is also important to consider the psychological impact of these signs. Even those who cannot see them firsthand feel the ripple effect, the unease, the heightened awareness, the sense that time itself is accelerating. When a place as historically and spiritually charged as Jerusalem becomes the backdrop for something inexplicable, it affects not only the observers, but the collective consciousness of those who pay attention. The air feels different, the world feels heavier, as if the boundaries between the seen and unseen are thinning. And so we are left to wonder what else is being revealed that we have not yet noticed. The lights could be just one layer, the surface of a larger tapestry. Perhaps they are signals meant to awaken curiosity, to provoke inquiry, to challenge the complacency that has become second nature in a distracted world. If history has taught us anything, it is that those who fail to see the signs risk being unprepared for what comes next. Jerusalem has always been a city of revelation. From ancient prophets to modern observers, the city's significance transcends borders, cultures, and time. Every stone, every street, every sacred site carries a memory, a warning, a lesson. And now, in the midst of escalating global uncertainty, the city seems to be sending yet another message, subtle, enigmatic, impossible to ignore for those who are attentive. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect is the unpredictability. There is no schedule, no formula, no pattern that can be confidently followed. The lights appeared without warning, and they could appear agonal. The ambiguity itself is a test, a challenge to our awareness, a reminder that reality is not fully under our control. It forces reflection. Are we ready to recognize truth when it appears, or will we remain blind, wrapped in convenience and distraction? As the days pass, the world continues as usual. People go about their lives, consumed by immediate concerns, oblivious to the subtle signals that may be shaping the future. Yet, for those who pause, who observe, who think deeply about what they see, a different perspective emerges, one that suggests we are living in a pivotal moment, a time when decisions, awareness, and discernment are more crucial than ever. It is a moment that calls for vigilance, a moment that calls for curiosity, for reflection, for openness to mysteries that challenge conventional understanding. The lights over Jerusalem are not an isolated event, they are part of a larger narrative that is unfolding around us, a narrative that bridges the seen and unseen, the temporal and eternal. And in that narrative, we are all participants. Whether we recognize it or not, whether we engage with it or remain indifferent, we are moving along a path shaped by forces both visible and invisible, forces that have been at work for centuries now, revealing themselves in subtle, often cryptic ways. So the question remains, will we notice the patterns, the signs, the messages hidden in plain sight? Will we pause long enough to consider what is really happening, not just in Jerusalem, but across the world? Will we allow ourselves to see beyond the distractions, beyond the noise, and confront the possibility that the extraordinary is closer than we think? Take a moment to think about what you have witnessed, read, and sensed in recent days. Reflect on the stories, the unusual events, the moments that felt too strange, too significant, too aligned to be mere coincidence. Ask yourself what the universe, or perhaps something beyond it, might be trying to communicate. And consider this: those who are willing to observe carefully, who are willing to question and reflect, may find themselves standing at the threshold of understanding, while the rest of the world remains unaware. If you've made it this far, it means you're among the few who are truly paying attention. I want you to do something only those who reached the end of this video will do. Right, I see the signs in the comments. By doing this, you're joining a small circle of viewers who are awake to what's happening around us, who notice what most people ignore. Make sure to hit the like button. It's a simple way to mark that you were present, that you didn't scroll past. And while you're here, watch the next video appearing on your screen now. It's only being revealed to a select audience, and it contains insights that aren't available anywhere else. Don't miss this opportunity. Few people will see it, and the understanding it offers could change how you look at everything happening today.